Shall we pray? Thy word is a light unto my feet, and a lamp unto my path. Come now, Holy Spirit, stop by here. Upset and disarrange all oppressive structures that are put in place. Come now, Holy Spirit, and stop by here. And let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in thy sight, O Lord, my God and my Redeemer. Amen. To the senior minister here at Unitarian Church of Evanston, Reverend Eileen Riviat, and the faith community here at Unitarian Church of Evanston, to my brothers and sisters in Black Lives Matter, to the leadership of Global Interfaith Network, to my global siblings who march for Black lives and for justice, to those listening far and wide, to the American Baptist churches and to the United Church of Christ, to the National Action Network and the Sharpton family, to the tradition of the Black church, from which fuels my preaching identity. I greet you with the love of Jesus. As a co-laborer for justice, I come to you with a heavy heart. I want to read to you this morning from Psalm 13 and Amos 6. O Lord, will you forget me forever? How long will you hide your face from me? How long must I take counsel in my soul and have sorrow in my heart all the day? How long shall my enemy be exalted over me? Consider and answer me, O Lord, my God. Light up my eyes, lest I sleep the sleep of death. Lest my enemies say, I have prevailed over him. Lest my foes rejoice because I am shaken. Have I trusted in your steadfast love? My heart shall rejoice in your salvation. I will sing to the Lord, because he has dealt bountifully with me. Now in Amos chapter 5, 18 through 24, the English Standard Version. Let justice roll down. Woe to you who desire the day of the Lord. Why would you have the day of the Lord? It is darkness and not light. As if a man fled from a lion and a bear met him, or went into the house and leaned his hand against the wall, and a serpent bit him. It is not the day of the Lord. Darkness, not light, and gloom with no brightness in it. I despise your feasts. I take no delight in your solemn assemblies. For even though you offer me your burnt offerings and grain offerings, I will not accept them. The peace offerings of your fattened animals, I will not look upon them. Take away from me the noise of your songs, to the melody of your hearts. I will not listen, but let justice roll down like waters, and righteousness like an ever-flowing stream. Pray with me as I preach on the subject, how long, O Lord? Oh, how long? In the first text, we see David asking a question in prayer. A question that everyone in the human family has asked at one time or another. In the midst of human anticipation, waiting for change while hanging on to what little bit of hope, or even for hope, David had felt neglected by God, or at the very least, that he waited a long time for God to do what needs to be done. Question is asked, time, where are you, God? And how long do I wait? Brad, we see a resemblance of this and these words. For how long for us in this moment of global pandemic here in America and throughout the world? This is It's the circumstances today. We have civil unrest in America and in the global South. How long will we cease to see horrifying images posted on social media for all the world to see, showing men accused of being gay, thrown off of high buildings, and stoned to death, shot in the head by extremist groups, including the Islamic State known as ISIS in Iraq, Syria, and Libya. Groups whose minds have been manipulated and colonized. Christians, we're not off the hook, because we've done some of that manipulation too. We're not exempt from the violence of participation and the violence of oppression. Western Christians, we have contributed to the rise of Donald Trump that represents Western fascism and white supremacy, that have empowered systematic structures of violence upon marginalized communities, not just here at home in the United States, but played out in the UK in the form of Brexit, where they're targeting their own black and brown citizens. That is the form of white supremacy too. How long? How long do we tarry as we see more names added to the lynching tree here in America? The visualization of George Floyd crying out for his mother, begging for air, while a white police officer has his knee on his throat. 8 minutes, 49 seconds. 8 minutes, 49 seconds. The visualization of Ahmaud Arbery jogging when 2 white men chased him down in their truck and shooting him in broad daylight. The visualization of Breonna Taylor. Sister Breonna worked, served her community. She arrived home from work and got into bed only to have her home violently broken into and shot dead. Her brown body riddled with bullets, and yet systematic reminder and message to all of America that black bodies and black homes are not our own. This is a visceral resemblance and reminder of the antebellum South. Its name has a resemblance to ancestors who hung from the lynching tree of America's South. Each body cries out for justice. Each body used to further traumatize more generations of black and brown people in America. We hear this question rising from the streets of Chicago, from New York and Ghana. Voices all over this world joining together and saying, we are sick and tired of being sick and tired. This isn't the first time seeing this violence, and it certainly won't be the last. In fact, Emmett Till was shot in the head and beaten for being accused of whistling at a white woman in 1965. It just gave more energy to the civil rights movement, as his mother refused to have a closed coffin because she wanted the world to see what the violence of white supremacy and hate does and what it looks like. We have some difficult truths to reckon with here in America. Long after COVID-19 is gone, Donald Trump is escorted from the White House. The pandemic of white supremacy and systematic oppression has always been part of the DNA of America. Way back, Christopher Columbus lied about discovering America, when the real truth is that they colonized and took over a land where other people lived. In my own family, I've had 2 ancestors succumbed to the lynching tree here in Dalton, Georgia. I have loved ones today who unfortunately are incarcerated by America's love affair of black and brown bodies being contained. Prophet Isaiah and the prophet Amos points to this in the text of Israel's foregoing chapter. Prepare to meet their God. The prophet here tells us what preparation must make, what they must seek, that when they seek the Lord and not seek any more idols, that they must seek good, that they must seek reconciliation and justice, that they must make this preparation to meet their God because of the present deplorable condition they were in. Their sin was oppression of one another. Their sin was bullying of marginalized people. Their indulgent relationship with injustice speaks of an arrogance, of a profound contempt of God's judgment. Because it was by sin that they were brought into such a condition. Their commitment to injustice speaks of an arrogance that celebrates a profane contempt of God's judgment, setting them on a road of defiance. Prophet Amos was among the herdsmen of Tekoa. He was a shepherd, a simple man called by God, pained by the sight of the oppressed, and sickened by the arrogance of the oppressor. Just like these children marching in the streets of America and our world, black and brown children, queer and straight, they, like Amos, points to God's commitment to the people that cried out for justice. Those in Amos's time rising up, those sitting in the king's palace, people everywhere rising up against those at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, now renamed as Black Lives Matter Boulevard. I stopped by to tell you that before I take my seat, that God hears the voices of our trans siblings, of our trans black women whose lives have been snuffed out because of hate and ignorance. I stopped by to tell you who are Palestinian, that yes, the fight for freedom has been long and painful, that you are not alone. I stopped by to tell my LGBT brothers and sisters in the global South that you are not alone, and that freedom and justice and dignity are owed to you. Those who are marching all over this world with us here in America, we feel your solidarity for liberation of black and brown bodies. That liberation and truth is love unfolded that rocks the structure of racism and systematic oppression, that dares to make hate look at itself in a mirror, that forces it to give itself its own name. Oh, love unfolding, represented in the tapestry of the rainbow. Love unfolding, never gives up and never gives in. Love unfolding gives rise to a new generation of justice workers. Love that justice must roll down like a never-ending flood of righteousness. Love unfolding gives us an answer to David's question of how long, oh Lord, must I tarry?